Pete Davidson, never one to mince words, has once again stirred up headlines, this time by slamming the audience at Saturday Night Live's star-packed 50th anniversary celebration. During a recent appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Davidson recounted his experience performing at the highly anticipated SNL50 event. And let's just say he didn't hold back. "I was there for like 5 hours," Davidson joked. "The audience was just terrible. But what made it so bad?" According to Davidson, the problem wasn't the acoustics or the jokes, it was the crowd itself, an ocean of celebrities. Famous people only like themselves, he told Fallon with a laugh, describing the awkwardness of trying to get laughs out of a room full of A-listers who were more focused on themselves than the show. They don't laugh at anyone else. They don't like jokes about them, and they definitely don't like each other. Davidson, who was a cast member on SNL from 2014 to 2022, returned to the iconic stage for the anniversary celebration, a historic event marking 5 decades of comedy, political satire, and cultural commentary. The event, naturally, drew a glittering audience filled with Hollywood heavyweights, comedy legends, musicians, athletes, and media moguls. But as Davidson pointed out, a room full of megastars doesn't necessarily equal a good comedy crowd. "It was like a weird ego off you walk out, and it's like Beyoncé, Steven Spielberg, Taylor Swift, Paul McCartney, and they're all just kind of sitting there not laughing. You're like, cool, just bombing in front of God," Davidson quipped, adding that it felt more like a competition for who could look the most important than a celebration of comedy. "It was like a weird ego. Everyone's trying to prove that they're too cool to laugh," he said, noting that instead of roaring applause or chuckles, most jokes landed with awkward silence or the occasional polite smile. "It's like being in a room full of mirrors, where no one reflects back." Davidson, 31, is known for his self-deprecating humor and fearless commentary, often poking fun at everything from his personal struggles to pop culture giants. His SNL tenure was defined by unpredictability and a raw, vulnerable comedic style that made him stand out, even in a cast filled with talents. Fallon tries to diffuse. Jimmy Fallon, himself an SNL alum, tried to soften Davidson's blunt commentary, saying, "Well, it was a celebration. Maybe people were just overwhelmed or emotional." Davidson laughed in response. "They were overwhelmed by themselves." The audience at Fallon's show erupted with laughter, clearly more receptive than the one Davidson faced during the anniversary special. Not his first brutal take. This isn't the first time Davidson has called out Hollywood's elite. Over the years, he's mocked celebrity culture, red carpet behavior, and even his own A-list relationships. He's made headlines with his on-again, off-again remarks about former flames, most notably Ariana Grande and Kim Kardashian. Davidson has also openly discussed his mental health journey, rehab stints, and public scrutiny, using humor as both a coping mechanism and a spotlight. He even addressed the bizarre experience of dating in the public eye, once quipping that he only finds out he's broken up with someone when it trends on Twitter. SNL, a celebrity magnet. SNL has always attracted big names, from guest hosts like Tom Hanks and Emma Stone to surprise cameos by political figures and pop icons. The 50th anniversary was a culmination of that legacy, bringing together decades of talent under one roof. However, Davidson's remarks suggest that such a spectacle might not be the best environment for stand-up comedy. Comedy, after all, thrives on relatability and, as Davidson bluntly put it, "It's hard to relate to a room full of people who've never stood in line at the DMV." Social media reacts. He's not wrong. Fans quickly took to social media to echo Davidson's sentiments. Many praised his honesty and noted that celebrity events often appear lifeless. Despite the glitz. One user on X, formerly Twitter, posted, Pete Davidson saying the SNL50 crowd sucked because it was full of famous people who only laugh at themselves. "He's not wrong." Another joked, "Now I just want the unedited audience footage. I bet it was brutal." Some pointed out the irony. Only Pete Davidson could make headlines for bombing at the most prestigious comedy celebration of the year and still come out looking like the realest person there. Keeping it real always. For all the fame Davidson has accumulated from SNL to movies like The King of Staten Island, to his brief stint on The Kardashians, he's never let go of his down-to-earth comedic voice, whether performing for a crowd of college kids or roasting celebrities at Madison Square Garden. He stays unapologetically authentic. "I just try to be honest," he told Fallon, "even if that means saying, yeah, I totally bombed in front of Oprah. And maybe that's why people keep rooting for him." In a world obsessed with curated perfection, Davidson remains wonderfully, hilariously imperfect. Final thoughts. Pete Davidson's take on the SNL50 crowd might ruffle a few feathers in Hollywood, but it also pulls back the curtain on an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the biggest stars make the worst audience by calling it like he sees it. Davidson once again proves why his voice continues to resonate, not just with comedy fans, but with anyone who's ever felt out of place in a room full of important people. As Davidson said it best, famous people only laugh at themselves. Which is fine. I guess I'll just go laugh with the regular people instead.